Oh, hello. Hello to you. Hats off to you. Tip of the hat. How are you? It's me, your friend Lou. I'm here in the car again. I didn't have to do it last week because I was in Las Vegas for NAB. But this week, I'm back on the grind, sitting in the car doing nothing. I actually managed to pass out in a weird way. It was sort of like, so I'm surprised I wasn't pulled out of here by the jaws of life by somebody finding me asleep in the car. But now that that's out of the way, I'm awake. I woke up just in time to start this fun call to myself. So yeah, where did we leave off this morning? We talked a little bit about my trip to Vegas, the fact that I paid $12 for two chapsticks, one after the other, so 6 each. And what else? We were talking about some people. John Kingman is in Vegas today. A friend, an acquaintance of mine. He's in Vegas this week, and he's complaining about it. Now, if you had to go there and couldn't really sort of enjoy it, it would really be a hell. Like if you had to live there, it'd be a super duper hell. Good morning or good afternoon to you, Dynamo. So yeah, if you lived in Las Vegas, it would be a hell. Just because any sort of resort town where everyone is enjoying themselves and you have to grind your shitty, like, low-wage job and, have to see everyone's obese, reddened flesh coming in and out of all the casinos. All those people smoking cigarettes because they can smoke there in public still, which seems bizarre in this day and age, but nothing's off the table in Vegas. It would be a bummer to live there. But, it's one of those places that's okay to go visit. But I can't even imagine going to visit if I was like, yeah, I'm going to go gamble. I don't enjoy gambling that much. And then you see, like, so many people sitting at those tables gambling. It is a bummer. It's a little windy here today. As I mentioned this morning, it was very warm this weekend, and now it's back into the 40s and 50s. Yesterday we had torrential rain, and today it's just windy and gross. You can see, I don't know if you can see back here, out the window, there's that sign is blowing around a lot. Oh, you can't zoom in with this. Yeah, you can kind of see it wiggling a little bit. New York street scene. So Dinah and I were just talking about the potential for a book. Should we talk about it, Dinah? I don't know if it's still under wraps. But over Christmas I read The Human Centipede, and I was wondering if maybe we shouldn't write The Human Trumpipede. And my thought was that go public with it. All right. My thought was that the Human Trumpipede would be like everyone who gets fired from Trump's office is then collected from, by Steve Bannon or some other, diabolical, evil person. There's a guy walking by with a Naruto shirt on. Everyone who gets kicked out of Trump's cabinet ends up going on being absconded by somebody, by Stephen Miller, perhaps, because he is a evil looking dude, and everyone gets sewn together human centipede style, but just so that Trump can shit in their mouths, I guess, at first, but then the ultimate punishment is he ends up at the end of it, and he has to eat everyone else's digested poop. But who would be? But I guess it'd be. But you don't want Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller. We don't want Robert Mueller. How do you pronounce that? I forget. But you don't want him. You don't want Robert Mueller to be, at the front. Yeah, well, that's how you spell it. Hello, Kate O'Keefe. Are you watching from Ireland? So anyway, Kate O'Keefe just joined. But so anyway, yeah, it would be the question of like, it's all the people get out of the cabinet, and they get yes, like Mueller. Like that's what I thought. Like Mueller. Thank you. All right. So you wouldn't want Mueller to be the front of the centipede, right? So it would have to be somebody loathsome, but that you would want at the front of the centipede. Someone who wouldn't talk very much, maybe. Oh, so you're back in the U.S. So you're in Chicago. It must be in a break. You want Bannon at the front? I wouldn't want anyone who is like actually useful. Like where, and then I would still want to make sure that like someone like Sarah Huckabee Sanders gets in the mix too somehow. I don't know. I mean, the ultimate punishment for Trump would have to be, there you go, Melania. Melania Trump is at the head of the human Trumpipede. I like it. But everyone would feel bad for her because she's sort of like the dupe. But, and hello to Rivington for checking in. We're just discussing the plot of our soon-to-be released Amazon self-published book, The Human Trumpipede, in which all of the fired members of Trump's cabinet are sewn together, at first for Trump's amusement, and then in a switcheroo, he gets put at the back of it. Yeah, I think this is a doable and highly profitable book idea. So we should start roughing it out. I think we're going to make a lot of money on this idea. Yeah, because it has to be. Stephen Miller is a Mengele type of person, right? He's an evil surrogate for Trump who wouldn't be it wouldn't be beneath him to oversee some horrible surgery experiment in Trump's name. And then can you imagine Sarah Huckabee Sanders defending Trump, sewing everyone together in a human Trumpipede? Oh, there goes my son Ace. He's arriving home across the street. Look, there he goes. He's letting himself into the building. He has no idea. Hi. Now he knows. What are you gonna do? Would he come and sit in here with me? Oh, let me see. Hey, Ace, do you want to come sit with me in the car? Oh, he said no. All right. oh well. Who could blame him? So, yeah. Anyhow, how's it going, everybody? I'm super tired. I had to be up this morning really early because I parked the car so far away and I had to bring it back. And it was windy and it was cold and it's unpleasant. What are you gonna do? Oh, let's see. I just posted a picture on. I'm sure he does like your Instagram. I just posted a picture. I've been continuing to draw people on then posting the photos to Instagram occasionally. Here's the drawing I made. I don't know if you can see it. There's a lady asleep on the train. That one's from a while ago, or a more recent one. Everyone looks the same when they're sleeping on the train. Here's the drawing I made that I thought looked like something from heavy metal. And then I bought some new pens. Here's a dude who was reading, or maybe it was a lady, I don't remember anymore. Let's see. Here's the one I just posted. This is a weird old lady who was wearing a really snappy hat. And then I've been having some sort of like a regression of the drawings where they're not really I'm not really happy with them, but that's how it goes. Sometimes I've had a lot of people getting up off the train after I start drawing them. Here's one of a guy that I drew this morning. That'll be on Instagram eventually. Yeah, here's one of a lady who was asleep on the train. She had a funny hair bun. And then on the way home, I drew this one of this kid asleep on his grandmother's shoulder. I enjoyed this drawing. What are you gonna do? Did I see the Subway photography book that you gave to Jody? Probably. It rings the bell, but I can't recall seeing it offhand. I'm pretty sure I did. Don't be offended. I'm a total head case right now. I'm really tired. I literally was asleep, and then I woke up just in time to see it was 5:30, which is when I record. So I'm still quite a bit out of it, but not out of it enough to stop me from fantasizing about the book, The Human Trumpetpede, which I hope we can make into a book. I do remember that book that you gave her, but I can't remember anything about it at the moment. I apologize for not appreciating your gift to my wife in a way that it deserves, clearly. I'm sad that Ace wouldn't come sit in the car with me. He let his fear of what was going to happen override the fun he could have had sitting with his dad in a car for no reason. Well, there is a reason. The reason is, of course, sitting here so that we don't get a ticket. Let's see, is the person behind me sitting in their car? You know, sometimes you can tell. Some people just get out and they're like, I'm just take a chance. I get a ticket. Because the ticket people don't come all the time. Just sometimes they're here for a couple of months, but you never know. You can't get out of your car because you never know. Anyhow, what else was I gonna say? I don't even know. Oh, did anyone watch Saturday Night Live this weekend? I watched it and was amazed at how weird some of the sketches were. There was a sketch in which Pete Davidson and someone else go to a diner, a shitty diner, and Pete decides to order the lobster, and they're like, no one orders the lobster, and he's like, well, I'm ordering the lobster. And then they did this whole crazy musical involving Kenan Thompson as this lobster that's been at the diner for like 80 years and is ancient, and sings this whole song about being no one orders lobster at the diner. It was super weird, but also I really admired the commitment to how bizarre and involved a sketch it was. It was long and weird. Yeah, it was a weird episode of SNL in general. But one thing I will say, I'm glad that the temperature did not drop so much that it killed all of these plant or tree buds, because all the trees in this neighborhood are about to just go super bonkers. Oh, look at that. I added some more light to myself. Man, wearing this hat sometimes makes me look terrible, like some kind of a ghoul or an old creep, which is the look I'm going for. Old creep. I find it difficult to get around with this grill. I give off a creepy vibe, mostly because I walk around like this. What do you want? Get out of the way with your youth. And I try to make my hand look like a claw. On the other hand, I have firmly down my pants. to sell the whole creep vibe. It's an important part of it. You know, society needs creeps. So, you know, people who stare too long at the people. There's the super of my building. He just waved hello to me. But I don't think he wants to get in the car either. Oh, you think I sounded like the Frogs? Yeah, I guess. For those who don't know, the Frogs were a Milwaukee band that had a brief, blossom of success because they were really liked by bands like Smashing Pumpkins and other sort of like successful college rock bands. And the Frogs, who I think Kate might have been part of introducing me to a long time ago. The Frogs really were they're really a weird band. I still have that album, My Daughter the Broad. And I really like some of the songs. I mean, they're really not good musically, but they are entertaining in their stupidness. Yeah, some of them are just awful, where the music is not even in a pattern that you recognize or want to think about, and it's just a guy kind of talking their weird beliefs. A lot of homoeroticism, a lot of rejection of women. Yeah, there's the children. What is it? Stay away from the man with the candy. That song was children, stay away from the man with the candy. Stay away, or whatever. Well, my favorite song of theirs was well, I have a couple, but there's the I'm sad because my goat just died today. Right, that's a terrible song, but it's still funny. And then there was also I'm a lifeguard of love, with the singing part that's girls, you'll never get none of mine. It's for the boys. My rocks, I only get off and give them to the boys. The boys can get the jewels and the finest twine. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And then one of the guys in that band died tragically. Yeah, I'm hungry. Yeah, where's Jerry? That's a weird song. Where's Jerry Lewis? Where's Jerry Lewis when you need the man? There's not even any music to that song. But yeah, then I was gonna say one of the guys in that band drowned accidentally in, I think, windsurfing in that pond down by Kenosha, which is on the border of Chicago, of Illinois. There's a nuclear power plant that has a cooling pond that is always warm because of all the shunted heat into the water, and because of that, it's warm all year, and people windsurf in it all year. And I think there are piranha in that. There were, at least someone threw piranha in there, a few, and so there were weird piranha sightings, or people catching piranha every once in a while. Yeah, so one of the guys from the Frogs drowned in that water, but try not to get too down about it. But I never saw the Frogs or even knew of them when I lived in Milwaukee. I don't know how I missed them, because I think we got that CD not too long after we lived in New York. Maybe too long. I don't remember. But, yeah, I don't know if it's something you should seek out. I think it's in the same vein as, of musical interest as Wesley Willis, who we were just talking about recently. That's true. Good times to be had in Milwaukee. This is true. There's always some wacky bands. I'm sure there are wacky bands here in New York. I just do not have the time to seek them out. That's a sad fact. Also, not into the music scene at all. I was, every once in a while, there'll be a band, and I'll be like, oh, I like this band. Oh, they've been around for 7 years, and I never heard of them, and they're from New York. Who knew? That's how Interpol was for me. I was like, oh, I really like this band. Oh, they've been around forever. Oh, they're from New York. Okay. Never heard of them until I heard of them. Same thing with that other band that sings that 2 Weeks song, Something Bear or something. I don't know. Grizzly Bear. Yeah. Johnny Hot Dog and the Condiments. That's a band? Kate. Oh, is that really a band, Dinah? I can't tell. I would like to believe that is a song. Or maybe or a band. And maybe there's a band called the Human Trumpet. Who knows? Singing all kinds of songs about the nutrients in feces that can be extracted. Oh, well, Johnny Hot Dog and the Condiments, according to Dinah, is a bad band from New Jersey. All kinds of states can have bad bands. And Andrea Grisar is joining. Hello. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other bad bands from Milwaukee. Who was wasn't there a band that would open for there was a band in Milwaukee that would open for Gigi Allen, I think, called there was Cheetah Chrome and the Motherfuckers, which I don't believe were from Milwaukee, but I think there was also some weird band that was Jiminy Ricketts and the Crotch Crickets or something like that. I don't know. That was wait, put the penis in the vagina and fuck that shit around is the title of a song from Johnny Hot Dog and the Condiments. 16-year-old me really appreciates that song title. Yeah, it's like when I try to explain the Mentors to people have a really hard time grasping that concept of a band. But that was a bad band, but they had some songs that made me laugh. I still probably have on my hard drive somewhere that song, Donkey Dick, which is real stupid. And if you can imagine it being sung through an executioner's mask, it makes it even that much better. Cheetah Chrome. Oh, was he really? Cheetah Chrome and the Motherfuckers were in the... There was a CBGB's movie. I don't even know about that. Was there a CBGB's movie? I do not know. But, good for them. It's a great name. Cheetah Chrome and the Motherfuckers. Oh, they did. And then I remember there was a band in Milwaukee very briefly called, the Motherfuckers. And I remember meeting the guys in that band at a house party, and it was entertaining for a minute to talk to them about their band. And this was when I was young enough to still sort of enjoy that kind of a joke band, or not a joke band, but a band that was just being dicks. And yeah, after 10 minutes of talking to them, I was like, I see. You guys are trying way too hard to be assholes to everybody. I get it. They're talking about how much they enjoyed destroying places they went to play and things like that. But my video got fucking interrupted by a garbage phone call. I just hate that fucking... There's a phone number that calls me that has the same beginning as my phone number and other digits that share, so it looks like it's coming from someone I know, but then it's always like, we'd love to talk to you about your line of credit. It's like, who's accepting this line of credit? I would like to know. Yeah, so Dinah, you're saying that the CBGB's movie is not as good as the Studio 54 movie, and the Studio 54 movie is terrible or awful. That's your word. You have to quote you. Yeah, I haven't seen either of those things. I know that I went to Studio 54 in 5th and 6th grade for birthday parties for was it Jason Rubel, who was the nephew of Stephen Rubel, the guy who ran the club. Either way, flip those if those names are wrong. So I did get to go to Studio 54 and play around in the upstairs balcony where I'm pretty certain people were fucking all the time back in the 70s, and surprised that I didn't get crabs or something from like rolling around and like moving all those cushions around. But those were interesting birthday parties. It's one of those weird New York stories of growing up in the 70s and 80s that I got to hang out at Studio 54. And the kid who had the birthday party, I don't remember him being like super liked because he was kind of a dweeb. He was like a chess phenomenon and also really good at piano, which, you know, great, really, and just, you know, a smart guy. But I don't remember him fondly. But it wasn't like he was a rich, spoiled person. It was just more like we just didn't get along. Yeah, it happens. I know. I'm usually the best at getting along with everybody. But he did have at these parties, like, hot dog. You have a hot dog cart and a pizza cart and a soda cart and like all these other things. And it was neat. You know, it was a really cool birthday party. I mean, it's one of those birthday parties that, like, you're never going to beat with your own birthday party. I mean, I'm not complaining. I had some wonderful birthday parties that I thoroughly enjoyed, but it's the kind of birthday party that, you know, I don't know if anyone's going to remember my sleepover compared to 4 hours of dancing as a child at one of the most popular nightclubs at the time. Famous nightclubs. And they brought down like all the things with the Coke spoon and the moon and all the weird like set pieces that they had hanging up because it was an old theater. It was a weird plate. Now, are you talking about the Plato's Retreat movie? Are you talking about American Swing? Because that was an interesting documentary. I don't know if I made it all the way through because once it started getting into the owner's problems with taxes and how stupid they were, it wasn't as fun. But I did enjoy the people telling their stories of being brought to Studio 54 by dates who didn't tell them they were going there and then being left by the dates who decided to hook up with someone else and then them finding someone else to hook up with. Seems like a weirder time in these days. And I also didn't know that Plato's Retreat, which I used to see ads for on TV all the time, was like blocks from my house in the Upper West Side. Who gets heckled at M&M? Wait, I can't see. No, I don't think there was a birthday. I never went to a birthday where someone jumped out of a cake. Anyway, my time is up. There's too many topics to discuss. The guy in front of me is getting out of his car. I'm getting out of my car. The time to be stuck in a car is over. We'll see you again, everybody. I'm online all the time. That's nothing to be proud of. Oh, God. Oh. Time to get back into creep mode. What are you girls doing? I could see your panties.